So it's the 27th of December, which means that if you're watching this, you would have survived Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day with your non-vegan friends and family. And I wanted to film a video yesterday or the day before, chatting to you guys about my experiences of this holiday, festive Christmas period as a vegan when you're around predominantly non-vegan friends and family most of the time. Now, this year for me, this Christmas has been really different in that last year I was sitting on Christmas Day across from family at the table while they were eating an animal. But this year I decided not to do that. And I decided not to do it because I realised that I didn't have to. And I considered it an act of self-care in not doing it and from removing myself from the situation. I wasn't even in a house where anyone was eating animals this year because Andrew and I decided to stay at home, and my mum came over and she's vegan, so we all ate vegan food together. There were no animal products in the house, not a dead animal in sight, and it was great. And I think last year I wasn't in a place yet where I thought I could do that. I think I was still in the mindset of if you're a good person or a good sister or a good daughter, a good family member, then you just suck it up and you sit there and you feel like crap and you spend time with your non-vegan friends and family over Christmas because you have to. But the thing is, you actually don't have to. And I decided this year that I'm an adult and it wouldn't have been very good for my head if I had made myself do that. Because there comes a point where you have to make decisions for yourself and not just do things out of obligation because you feel that you should. And I definitely have thought for most of my life that I should just do stuff that revolves around family because I'm supposed to, because that's the way it is. And I've started to challenge that in the last year because it's kind of the same logic, the same thinking as goes with eating animals. Like, people eat animals just because it's the way it's always been and no one challenges it. And so I feel like sitting and eating with family members while they eat animals, even if it's bloody Christmas, you don't have to do that. So I remove myself from that situation this year. And I mean, on Christmas Eve, I did see some of my non-vegan family, and I got into a discussion with one of my brothers that ended up being horrendous. And it was all about being vegan, and it resulted in him telling me that I shouldn't be having a child, which is lovely. And no good came from that at all. And it just escalated, and it was really uncomfortable. And Andrew just left the room because he just didn't want to sit there and listen to us, because it was an argument, it was pointless, it was going round and round in circles. And then my dad came into the room, and I thought to myself, I wonder how many vegans across the UK today, and across the world in fact, are having similar interactions with family members who eat animals. And it's really hard because you feel that you have to spend time with them, and you also want to spend time with them. I'm not saying I don't, but you have to watch people that you really care about, that you've grown up around, who have probably been really kind to you in your life. You have to watch them do the thing that you hate the most, and watch them do it, and then try your hardest not to hate them, try your hardest not to resent them, because the thing that they're doing, it's not really their character, it doesn't really make them who they are. It's this learned behavior we have, in the same way that if you weren't raised vegan, we have this behavior too. And like with any other bad habits you pick up, whether it's drinking or smoking or taking drugs, eating animal products is a really bad habit, and it's a learned one that we can unlearn. And so I try my best to be as patient as I can with non-vegan friends and family around me. But this Christmas, as an act of self-care, I consider it, and as a bit of a silent protest, I didn't go to my parents' house and sit at the same table with family members while they were eating. They got chicken, they got the body of a chicken. And why should I? And why should we? We're vegan because we have made the connection, and it would be as abhorrent to us to sit with someone, whether it's Christmas or not, frankly, who we're related to, and watch them eat the body of a dog or a cat or a human baby. But for most people, saying human baby is one step too far, so stick with dog or cat, because that's so horrifying to most people, the idea of eating a dog or a cat in the UK. But it's no different at all, and it's just based on conditioning, because we've been brought up being told that cats and dogs are inedible animals, and pigs, sheep, turkeys, chickens are edible animals, and it's really as simple as that. And so I wonder what you guys have been going through over the last few days because of Christmas. And I've seen lots of statuses popping up on Facebook, kind of like SOS statuses, I suppose, people saying about how they're going through hell being surrounded by their non-vegan family, And I hear you, I feel you, it's really hard. And if you're not in a place yet in your life where you either live separately from your family, because maybe you're coming back from university, or you don't have a vegan partner, and you don't really have or you don't feel you have the choice yet to remove yourself from the situation, as I have done this year, then you have to practice patience, and it's really hard. And I won't be sitting with non-vegan friends and family while they eat animals just because it's Christmas in the future. It's not something that I'll do when the baby's here. It's not something that Andrew and I want to do at all. It's uncomfortable. I also really struggle in not saying things. So the example of Christmas Eve with my brother is that, it escalated into a really big, horrible argument because I can't keep my mouth closed. And I sometimes think removing yourself from it when you know you're not gonna have a productive outcome is sometimes the best, especially if it will make other members of your family really uncomfortable. Not because we shouldn't speak out about animal abuse, we absolutely should, but in that situation I probably should have walked away because no good came of it. I didn't open my brother's eyes to a new perspective. He just kept saying animals are different to us. Humans and animals are not the same, they don't have the same value, and that's what he stuck at every time a different argument was placed in front of him that he didn't like, and he just avoided all of my very simple questions about why he eats animals and where does that come from. Because when it comes down to it, there's not many reasons why people eat animals, and they don't really want to have to confront it. They don't really want to have to face the fact that they're like everyone else and that they've been conditioned so strongly that they don't question something that's actually really weird. And that was the way the conversation went with my brother, and is that he became very defensive. And because we have an emotional connection, because he's related to me, when you're having a discussion with a family member, it's really hard when they disagree with you, because in actual fact, we take it so personally. Because when someone rejects your veganism or makes fun of you, what they're in fact doing, and it feels like, is that they're rejecting you as a person. So it's really hard. That's why this topic is so difficult, and it's why I'll continue to make videos about it every few months or so. I mean, these videos are the most viewed on my channel, and I think the reason for that is because no other vegan YouTubers talk about this, the struggles they have with non-vegan family members, but the struggle is very real. And I don't mind talking to you guys about my experiences or telling you that I find it really hard, and that sometimes I lack the patience and the compassion that I wish I had all the time, because I think about the animals that are dying, and I think about the fact that my friends and family don't care about that, and they shut their eyes to it, and they say things like, but it's always happened, they're just animals. And it's really hard to talk to someone about that when it's someone that you care about, because every time they challenge you on your veganism, and every time they don't show any sense of being open-minded, they're in actual fact, they're rejecting you and your person. And it's almost impossible not to take it personally. I struggle with it, and I continue to struggle with it, but it is what it is. And family often won't take the message from you because they've known you so long, your entire life probably, especially if they're family members who are older than you. There's this kind of hierarchy, I suppose, within families where the parents are always supposed to be teaching the children something. But in actual fact, a lot of the time, because more young people are becoming vegan than older generations, it means that the young members of the family are coming back to their childhood homes and telling their parents about being vegan. And a lot of the mums and dads are not taking the message very well, because they're still in the mindset of, I'm the parents, I should be telling you about life, about how to live, about how to eat, and about how to be, especially about how to be ethical and how to be a good person. So try and bear that in mind as well. If you're a child talking to a parent, they're probably not going to take the message that well from you because of ego, and because they think that they should be teaching you all the time, when in actual fact, a really beneficial parent-child relationship is one in which both are always learning about life, about each other, about themselves. So I've had a pretty decent Christmas, I'd say, this year, because I haven't put myself in a position to feel really uncomfortable. And with the exception of the conversation I had with my brother on Christmas Eve, I haven't had to deal with any uncomfortable conversations, nor have I sat with anyone while they've eaten an animal. And that was the right decision. I know it was. I don't regret it. I don't wish I'd spent Christmas Day with my other family members while they were eating the body of a chicken. That wouldn't have benefited me. It wouldn't have benefited them. I would have had to bite my tongue and felt really uncomfortable. And I probably would have got really upset. So I think it's a balancing act. And if you've struggled this holiday period with spending time with your friends and family while they eat animals, then do consider removing yourself from it. You don't actually have to. There is no obligation. You do not have to spend time with people who make you feel really upset just because you're related to them. And I know some people watching this will think that that's an awful thing to say, because we should be spending time with friends and especially family over Christmas, even if they're eating animals. But if you're not vegan and you don't have this inner struggle, then you won't understand this video. It will just go over your head. You're not going to get it. You're not going to understand how difficult it is to be vegan and be surrounded by people that you really love and watch them doing the thing that you resent and hate because it's cruel. So I'd say try and find the right balancing act that works for you, and don't be afraid of being a little bit selfish. And I know when people talk about veganism, they say we should have, compassion for humans too. I definitely do have compassion for humans, and that's why I chose not to spend time with some of my non-vegan family over this Christmas period, because I knew that if I did, I wouldn't do a very good job of being compassionate, because I would have brought up eating animals and then it would have become an argument again. So I think I did make the right decision. What did you guys decide to do this Christmas? Were you sitting with family and friends while they were eating animals? Did you do something similar to me and remove yourself? I'm interested to hear, and I will definitely give you another update on this in a few months, because at the end of March I will be bringing a baby into the world. Andrew and I will be bringing a child into the world. We will definitely be raising this child vegan. There is no doubt about that. And that will probably present a whole set of issues for people in our lives in some way. And that we'll be taking this baby to activism that we do, and this kid will be outside slaughterhouses and will see how animals are treated in society. Because if there's nothing wrong with it, why wouldn't you take your child to a slaughterhouse, right? That's our way of thinking anyway. So yeah, comment below and let me know what you guys have done this Christmas with family and friends, if it's been hard, how you've dealt with it. And I will look forward to reading your comments, and I will reply as best I can with help. But we're all kind of in the same boat together, we all find this really difficult. There's no right way to deal with non-vegan friends and family in our life. We just have to do the best we can do, and also at the same time continue to advocate for the animals. So I hope you've had a good Christmas if you celebrate it. If not, happy holidays, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Is a pre-vegan or a potential vegan. Consider this a type of motivational pick-me-up every single time you're having an exchange with a non-vegan that doesn't feel like... I really find them uncomfortable, but needs must. And I officially have a proper bump now. I think, during the first trimester you couldn't see at all.